This is here with a review of the Nike vapormax 2020. The first vapormax, I didn't really like it because the heel just compressed extremely, and the forefoot, it was a little bit rigid. As you can tell by the difference in the chamber design, it's slightly improved. On the heel, it's pretty much the same, but on the forefoot, they've actually made a sensible decision to have it compressing on the right positions, whether you're pronating or underpronating, overpronating and underpronating, or you tend to press this way and have some lateral movements in whatever activity you do. It actually helps. You actually feel the forefoot air cushioning a little bit better than the first initial vapormax design. So I don't think you should call this a max. It feels more like an air tube or an air chamber, but still you do feel and see the air cushioning all around, zigzagging all over, instead of just being on the circumference or just being there for show as tubings. So this is not too bad. The heel, I still have an issue. It still compresses a little bit too heavily, and depending on which part you're pinpointingly compression pinpoints, they would just get flattened too easily. You have to land them flat on it to have the relevant cushioning that it's supposed to present you with. The upper and a lot of parts of the shoe is made with reused materials from other shoes that Nike made, and they discarded the excess material and they're grinding it and they're using it again. The good thing about it is it comes out with this funky design. It comes out with some nice funky designs, and they are doing it for a good cause, for the environment, which is good. But at the same time, when it comes to grinding on parts that require cushion, like the insoles, you see these multicolored different bits of ortholite being glued together. So what happens with this process is that you have 50% glue, 50% actual materials that provide cushioning. So the glue part isn't as soft as the material part, so it's not gonna be as good. So shoes like Vista Grind X, the shoes that have Zoom X, Lunar Walkers, those shoes that actually reuse Zoom X, it's not entirely as good as a normal Zoom X because of the 50% glue involved. So that's something you should keep in mind. They use the FF or Fast Fit system for the vapormax 2020. I never really approve of the Fast Fit because they didn't seem to provide adequate lockdown, and it did not open up the tongue or the entry zone as much as it should. Not in the Jordan 33s, not in the Kobe FFs. They were disappointing, but they managed to improved tremendously with the vapormax 2020. The Adapt system, which you heard the rearing sound of the huge motor and the core, that's heavy and restricts. It provides some sort of a bump and restrictions in terms of cushioning, so that doesn't work unless they really make some drastic improvements. So Fast Fit is actually a better option, I think, and for this one they've actually managed to make it work. As you can tell, the tongue is open way out loud, so you can just have easy access, and the laces get tightened by the most slightest tug instead of a full tug several times. Watch it. Yeah, just one tug and it's already in. It's pretty nice. But the problem, if you want to let it go, it's released quite easily as well. Just a little shrug, snug, tug, and it's open wide again. So that's nice. But the thing is, it only works around this plastic tab area, even though they do have some extra laces here, closer to the toe box of the forefoot area. These two bits don't get tightened as well as these. So you're left with little option here. It's just how it is. So I would recommend someday, maybe Nike's already working on it. So these Fly Ease tabs, they should have two of these, so that you have two pull tabs to adjust the upper half and the lower half, and you can adjust it, make some adjustments accordingly. So that would work, in my opinion. That would be the perfect evolution of the Fly Ease, rather the FF system. So Fly Ease is a concept of having the shoes on and off without having to go through the trouble of lacing or unlacing your lace loops. And Fast Fit is this particular technology where you tug on it and you have the pulleys connected so that the laces are tightened and loosened. So those two nice little technologies with good intentions are combined and fused nicely in this product. The upper material is really soft and nice, and it's quite breathable, so I wouldn't recommend you wear this during the cold seasons. They do have fusing or coating around certain areas where you need some reinforcements. But the thing is, like, they did not use fly wire to provide some additional resistance, or I suppose support, or anti-inversion blockage in some sense. They did have visible fly wires in most other fly-knit materials, or fly-knit material runners, so it's a little baffling. I guess maybe they weren't going for a performance wear, but they do have the cushioning and everything, a good lockdown and everything that should really complement a runner in terms of wearing this. These little elastic bits, I like it. It feels like it's going to nicely hug around your ankles without chafing. And also the heel cup is there, of course, this little plastic material. And the padding is all around very nice and generous, minimal but generous, and it won't provide any irritation or chafing. It weighs only about 320 grams for a size 8.5, so that's pretty lightweight considering these little plastics and all the materials involved. They are going on discount a lot of the times. The initial price was pretty big, but you can see them at 30-40% discount in a lot of places, whether it's online or offline. They do come in a variety of interesting colors or calm, plain colors like black and white. You may not get the color you want depending on what kind of discounts are available, but usually when nice colors are out and they're on discount, they'll disappear fast. So make sure you surf and click and lock and load and buy when you have the chance. This is a pretty good shoe in terms of its intent, which is noble, to save the environment, and a and an FF system, fast fit system that works, and a slightly evolved vapormax cushioning. Oh, the outsole is also much improved. Instead of little dots that kind of wear out or they kind of slip with the shoe, they're more rigid, and they're more staggered or angular, so they provide a little bit more traction than the previous vapormax models. And it's a lot thicker than the previous vapormax models when the rubber was just little square little dots that will wear out.